Not many questions today, just questions about karma and rebirth. It's good, we ask about karma. There's a question, when you die, I haven't died yet. When you die, where does your mind go? You don't even have to wait till you die. I don't think most people know where their minds are right now when they're alive. Mind is everywhere, all over the place. Does it go to the nearest newly born person? That would be lucky, wouldn't it? Maybe if you pick someone you really like, some family that you really like, and then you know maybe one day they'll have children and you just stay close all the time. And you hope, I'll be reborn with this family. What happens if there's no one around? So maybe you go for a traveling, you're in the desert, no one around, and then you die. Does that mean you just end up floating around the desert, maybe? Do you stay in the same area, in the same country? Good questions. Well, where does the mind go? The Buddha said the mind goes to a destination depending on karma. What makes the mind go somewhere is karma. Good karma, bad karma, mixed karma, good and bad. We say black and white karma. So they have one comparison, it's like cows in the pen. You have a pen and there's a door, a gate for the cow pen, and when the farmer comes, he opens the gate, which cow will go out first? Will tend to be the cow that's nearest to the gate, because they're nearest. So when they open the gate, the nearest cow just runs out first. If it's not that nearest cow, maybe there's one cow that's very tough, very big and strong, pushes all the others out the way they want to get out, so they go out first. It's a bit like that. When we die, what's happening to our mind? What thoughts are coming up? What emotions are we feeling at the time of death? What memories do we have? The Buddha said, memories, every act of karma, the mind stores it and remembers it. Even if we forget, our normal thinking mind has forgotten what we've done in the past. It's actually stored in our own heart, our own mind, consciousness. So you do something good, it leaves an impression in your mind. It changes your mind. If you think good thoughts and do good actions, it changes your mind for the better. You get a better mind. Little by little, the more good you do, the better. If you think bad thoughts, negative thoughts, that changes your mind as well. When you think a negative thought, you feel unhappy, you feel pain. So everything we think is the beginning of karma. The Buddha said, Mano pubangama dhamma mano seta mano maya. The mind is the beginning or the forerunner of everything we do. And karma is determined by quality of mind. Good thought, bad thought. Kind thought, cruel thought, wise thought, foolish thought, and so on. Karma depends on the quality of the mind, the state of mind, and the intention. And we make mental karma, just thinking is already karma. We make verbal karma, what's they call vaji karma. So you speak that leads to results and consequences. And then we have kaya karma, the karma we make with our body, physical karma, good and bad. So body, speech and mind, 3 ways we make karma. The kind of karma depends on the intention, good intention, bad intention. And karma is all about result. The results are coming back to us all the time. What we do has consequences. It's not random. It's not controlled by someone outside of us, like a god or some special being. The Buddha's explanation, based on his clear understanding, is that karma is cause and result. And where is karma stored? It's stored in our own minds. So when we die, what leads the mind to go on to its next life is karma. The body disappears for sure. We know that. When someone dies, we cremate them, we bury them, the body is finished. But the mind goes on into the next life according to karma. It's like an energy, it propels the mind. Consciousness arises somewhere else. After you died, it will arise somewhere else. But where? That's karma, isn't it? The destination. It's like you get on a train. Where does that train take you? What destination? That depends on your karma. So very few people can control this and say, oh, I want to be born here, or with this person, or with this family. You don't have to worry about, is there going to be a chance to get born? There's people being born every day. The population of the world is increasing, so there'll be a chance to come back as a human being, I'm sure. More important is whether you make the right karma to come back as a human being. If you want to come back as a human being, you have to behave like a human being. And the Buddha's word for human is manusa. And manusa means somebody with a high, well-developed mind. Not just having the body of a human, it means thinking, acting like a human, meaning living your life in a good way. What do humans do? They help each other, support each other. They learn how to live in the world and benefit themselves and the society. That's what we call a true human being. So we come to make good karma in our lives. We're here to make more good karma. Sometimes they like to compare karma a bit like money in the bank. So you make good karma, you've got money in the bank, you can use that money to do things, buy things. You don't make any good karma, your money runs out, you're broke. So it's a bit like that. You're born as a human being, already you've hit the jackpot. No need to feel depressed. You've already hit the jackpot being born as a human being. You've already made good karma and you've been born as a human being. Very, very lucky. And then we've heard the Dhamma as well. We've heard what the Buddha said. Very, very special, very lucky. But we have to build on that. We have to practice more, improve ourselves, learn to be a good human being, be kind, compassionate, help ourselves, help our families, help society. Try and keep the precepts, forgive others when they harm you. Don't hold on to grudges, don't seek to harm other people, even animals. Try not to harm animals. Keep the precepts. And best of all, learn to meditate. Because the highest peace and the highest benefit comes through meditation. Learning to make your mind peaceful and then see the Dhamma, understand Dhamma. One who follows the Buddhist path right to the end, they don't even get reborn again. Finish. Nibbana. The karma is finished. Because what makes us make karma is craving, attachment. Tanha, upadana. Tanha means craving, all kinds of negative desires, greed, anger, delusion. Promotes different kinds of desires, attachments. So we keep making karma. So you ask, why Will we stay in the same place when we die? When we come back, will we be born in the same place? Well, it depends what your attachments are. Like, most of you were born outside Australia, in Sri Lanka, China, Thailand, Europe. If I ask how many people born in Australia, put your hands up. 2? 3? Not many. Most of us were born somewhere else. They say Australia, one of the most multicultural countries in the world. Many people born elsewhere and then they move to Australia. So when you die, are you going to be reborn in Australia or reborn in your country of birth? You have to ask yourself, which one do you love most? Maybe you're reborn in Thailand, can't miss the Thai food, another life, so have to go back to Thailand again, start again. But it's not just that, isn't it? It's not just what you like, it's also whether you have karma to be reborn as human. Right? In the time of the Buddha, there was one monk, you probably all know the story. He's lived his life as a monk and then he got sick. When he got older, he got very sick and he was dying. And his sister came to look after him. And she asked him, is there anything you need, Bhante? You're sick, I'll offer to get you whatever you need. He said, oh, all my life as a monk, I never had a good set of robes. Can you find me some really good quality cloth? Sew it and dye it into a set of monk's robes. That was my last wish. So he was a bit greedy, didn't really need these things, but he always had that wish. So she went off, at great trouble, she got robe material, dyed it, sewed it, brought it back, offered to him just before he died. And he was so happy, he got the robes and he held on to them. A few days later he died. And the monks all went and asked the Buddha, what happened to this monk after he died? Where was he reborn? And the Buddha said he was born as a little bug, stuck to the robes. He's so attached to these robes, he's reborn on the robes. So he's not worried whether it's which country he's reborn in, he's just reborn in the robes. So maybe you really like Thai food, maybe you'll be reborn as a little mouse in the kitchen. We can't guarantee, unless we practice the Dhamma, we can't guarantee where we'll be reborn or what kind of situation. It's quite possible we all have been reborn in, or previously we were born in Australia before, and that's why we've come back here. You know, why should we all end up together in this country at this time when most of us are born somewhere else? Well, maybe we lived in this country before, once before, you never know. Luang Por Plien came here once, a very famous monk in northern Thailand, he has great psychic powers. And he said, oh, do you know this used to be a monastery once before? Everyone's going, how can that be? And they're all looking through the history books. And I don't think there's been Buddhist monasteries in Australia before. Maybe it was a long time ago in some other, we say, another world system, a long time ago. He said, same people, he said, I was the abbot before. He said, Geoffrey used to live here, the man who offered the land in the first place. He also used to live here in the past. He said, we used to go down the road with our bowls, and people living down in Warburton used to put food in our bowls in that lifetime. So maybe these things can happen. You live one life, maybe later on, after many lifetimes, you come back. Like where I started, Wat Pananachat in Thailand. It's the international monastery. Ajahn started that monastery for the foreign monks. That monastery started, it's just a swamp, forest, swamp, and it was a cremation ground. So the villagers didn't like going there, they're all scared of ghosts. So it's like a piece of forest, nobody wanted it. So the monks said, oh, we can live here. They said, you can have it. We don't like the ghosts. So the monks went to live there, and they're just thinking of staying there temporarily. They went to make fires, to make their bowls, fire their alms bowls. Then the villagers said, "Oh, we're so happy having monks here, maybe you can stay on. We'll build you some huts and a little hall, and you can stay on." So they invited Ajahn Chah over to see the place and see if that was a good idea. And he said, "Yeah, this is good. Really, I'm just coming back to my old place." Everyone stopped and said, "Oh, you've been here before." But they all knew Ajahn Chah hadn't been there before in this lifetime. So what does that mean? Does that mean he's been there before in a previous lifetime? Nobody could explain, and he didn't explain. But then they found some seema stones. The seema stones, like we have the markers around this hall, the Dhammachakra wheels, they mark the boundary of a seema hall, an ordination hall. In the forest, they found these little stones in the mud, in the roots of the trees. And then they checked, and hundreds of years before, there'd been a Buddhist temple on this site. And then they've come to rebuild this temple, as it were. It wasn't planned like that, but then they found, there had actually been a temple. These marker stones indicate that. So then everyone said, maybe Ajahn Chah was here before as a monk. And that's what he meant. He's come back to his old place. So sometimes it's like that. Sometimes you go somewhere and you have a feeling, I've been here before. But you've never been there before. It's just a feeling. Maybe you were born there before. So karma leads to birth, more birth. As long as we're making karma, then we'll have more birth when we die. So obviously, a wise person, they try to make good karma and avoid making bad karma, so that when they're reborn, it's in a good place. The best karma to make is to respect Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, practice the Dhamma, respect the Dhamma, then that will bring you back to meet Dhamma next life. See, we're all lucky, even in Australia we have a chance to practice meditation, listen to Dhamma. Very lucky. If you want that to continue into your next life until you reach Nibbana, then you have to keep practicing, keep respecting the Dhamma. You hold the Dhamma as something very important in your life. See, Buddhaṃ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi, we chanted that earlier today. That means we take refuge in Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. Nowadays people take refuge more in their bank account. ANZ Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi, Commonwealth Bank Saraṇaṃ Gacchāmi. You have to really think about it. Where does your mind look to in time of crisis? Do you look to the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, or do you look to your bank account, or do you look to... Some people, they take refuge in a bottle of beer. That's my refuge. It just depends, doesn't it? You have to look for what's your real refuge, the best refuge, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. The Buddha said, you want to know where you'll go when you die, look how you're living your life, and look at your habits, how you lead your life day by day. What are your habits? Are they good habits, or are they not so good habits? He said it's like a tree. Trees here in the fields, you see the tree stands up straight like this, but every day you get a wind coming. From here, the most common direction you get wind is from southwest, that way. The wind comes from the southwest every day, it blows this one tree, the tree starts to lean because of the wind. Can't stay up all the time, it goes that way. The wind pushes it, so it's leaning. So after 100 years, the tree gets old maybe, and it falls over. Which direction will that tree fall over? It's going to fall that way, because it's been pushed by the wind every day, so it'll fall that way. So the Buddha said a human being, what have they been thinking all their life? When they die, that will be the most likely direction they're going to go. So if you're just thinking about food or money or something, then it's going to push you in that direction. Or maybe you've been thinking about that person you really hate. I really hate that person, I want to get my own back on them. When you die, then maybe you'll meet them next life. You'll both be born together very close. Maybe you become brother and sister and end up fighting. Karma is like that. The thing we attach to pulls us to meet with it again. So another question. Where do we originally come from? Well, I come from my mother's womb. I'm sure you all do as well. We come from our parents, as we just discussed. Most of our parents weren't living in here when we were conceived and born. We were living in other countries maybe. Or even if you were living in Australia, born in Australia. You're born from your parents. But probably what the question is asking is, why do we get born? We get born because we have attachment from past life. We're already attached. If you put it in another way, you can say we're born because we want to be born. Like, if I ask you, does anyone want to die? I don't think so. Nobody wants to die. Any volunteers yet? Oh, very brave. People, they don't want to die, it's because they want to live. So we're born because we want to be born, we want to live. That's craving, that's attachment. So then when you're born and you come up in the world and then you meet your first problem and you have suffering, what's one of the things you hear people say? They say, I wish I wasn't born. I wish I'd never been born. But they're forgetting they actually wanted to be born. So next time you're suffering, you have to say, you volunteered for this. So somebody is giving you a hard time at work, they're bullying you, you say, I volunteered for this. I wanted to be born. And once you're born, you live in the world, there's lots of people. Sometimes we tread on each other's toes, we push each other around, because the world is limited. The world is this big and every day more people are born, so we have to start sharing what we've got, and sometimes we don't do that very well. Some people are better than others. Sometimes we compete, we hoard, we don't want to give in to anyone else, we want to keep everything for ourselves. Lots of suffering. So our suffering is actually because we wanted to be born, and then we have to suffer. Like, because you're born, you have to get older. If you don't like getting old, you shouldn't have been born. We don't like getting sick. Nobody likes being sick. But you get sick because you were born. Nobody wants to die, but you have to die because you were born. The only people who don't die are the people who weren't born. Who are the people who are not born? Arahants. They reach Nibbana. Nibbana, no more birth and death. They call it the deathless. You could call it the birthless as well. No birth, no death. So in Buddhism we say, the highest happiness for a human being is to reach Nibbana. In this very life, you reach Nibbana and the mind has no more desire for birth. No more craving, attachment, peaceful. No more anger, no more seeking to harm other people. You're peaceful enough. Because if you're still angry with others, you'll be born again. You'll meet those people again because you're still angry with them. Unfinished business. So if you're angry with anyone, you say, oh, I don't want to be born and meet this person again. I better finish it now. I'll forgive them. Let it go. The Buddha's word is ahosikam. Ahosikam. Ahosi means finishing, ending. So part of our practice is to end all our karma with other people, all the negative karma. Anger, greed, competition, jealousy. So we practice Dhamma to do that. How do you end jealousy? Or you practice mudita. Mudita means sympathetic joy. So the very person you're jealous of, you hate it when they get something that you haven't got. You change it around and say, I'm happy for them. May they be happy and successful. Somebody they're richer than us, better looking than us, they know more than us, they seem to have a better time than us. Be happy for them. Then you have no more jealousy, no more anger. If somebody harms you, you have to practice forgiveness, so your mind is no longer clinging on with anger. Otherwise you keep getting angry with them, and it bring you back to be born again. Greed as well. You think that monk I talked about earlier, he was reborn as a little bug on the cloth. Only for 7 days, not for long, but still he's reborn as a bug. So think, what do you still have greed for in this life? Maybe a house. So some people are reborn as ghosts. And then they invite the monks to go and bless the house. Say, oh, there's a ghost here. Maybe the ghost was the previous owner. Maybe they were there before you. They invite the monks, oh please come and bless the house, there's ghosts here. Maybe that person was living like us, but they didn't make any merit. Or they had a lot of attachment, a lot of suffering when they died, and they're still there, hanging around. Can happen. There's one story in Thailand was the mother used to come to the monastery. Her daughter was only very young, about 20 years old, not yet married, and the mother's got all these hopes for her daughter to get married, have a family, be successful, and then she died in a car crash. And the mother comes to the temple very upset. So she comes and she spends time in the temple like this, doing meditation, trying to get through the grief. She's lost her daughter. But then in the temple, people started to see a ghost of a young lady. Where's this coming from? Don't usually get ghosts in temples. Temples usually just have angels. So where's this ghost coming from? They went and asked the monks. Nobody could work out. And then one lady had a dream, and the ghost said, oh, I'm that girl who died in the car crash, and I'm stuck here. So they asked in the dream, why are you stuck here? She said, my mother made a wish. She said, I can't be born anywhere, I have to be born with her other daughter, so as a baby to her other daughter. Doesn't want her to go anywhere far away because he loves her so much. She has to wait until this daughter gets pregnant and then be born with her. So she says, now I'm stuck here as a ghost. As long as the other girl is not pregnant, I'm just going to be floating around here as a ghost. So the monks are thinking, could this be true? So they called the mother over. Did you make this wish that your daughter, who died in a car crash, can only be reborn to your other daughter? Yes. You better get rid of that wish then, change it. You've made her into a ghost. She's just hanging around here miserable. People keep seeing her crying, unhappy. Nobody can meditate, they keep seeing her. Well, the mother, oh, okay. So she goes away and she makes a new wish. May my daughter be free and happy and reborn in a good place, wherever is suitable. After that, nobody saw the ghost again. Finish. And maybe even love can pull people to become ghosts. You love something so much. In the time of the Buddha, there's one man, very successful businessman. It's a bit like Donald Trump, buying houses, selling houses. Made lots of money, big mansion, lots of gold, but very attached and very stingy. He only gave away a little bit of dana, never letting anybody get his money, very stingy. And before he died, he thought, I don't want anyone to get my money. I just want it all for myself. So when he died, his thought was, I want to be reborn here, my house, close by, so I can look after it. But there was no one around there having a baby at that time, and he had a son, but his son wasn't married, didn't have a baby yet. So he's reborn as the nearest handy thing. There's a stray dog, had babies on the edge of his property. So he was born as a stray dog. And the power of his attachment, and one day he wanders into the compound of this house and they try and chase him away. He doesn't go away, so in the end they give up and they let him have a little corner. He'd just sleep there, hanging around all day, just thinking about all his wealth. But now he's a dog, a miserable kind of life, stray dog. One day the Buddha comes past the house and the son, who's now inherited the house, comes out. He's the new owner, putting food in the bowl of the Buddha. And the Buddha sees the dog come by, so he calls the dog by the father's name. He says, come here, whatever the name was, come here. And the dog responds to the name and comes over. But the son, who's putting food in the Buddha's bowl, flies into a rage. He says, how dare you call this stray dog by my father's name? That's so rude, that's an insult. I don't want you to come here, go away. Got really angry. Because he still loved his father, respected his father. He couldn't imagine that dog has anything to do with his father. He shooed the monks away, even the Buddha shooed him away, criticized him. But the Buddha is very compassionate. He's not worried. Next day he's back again with the alms bowl. And the man comes out, not really happy, don't really want to give food to the Buddha. He gives the food. And the Buddha said, do you know that really is your father? He said, why do you say that? My father's a good man, very wealthy man. How can he be this dog? And the Buddha said, oh, you just call him. Call him by his name. So the son called him and the dog came over. It's like, starting to believe now. Before he didn't believe, now he's thinking, oh, maybe there's something to it. He said, okay, you have to prove it though. If that's really my father reborn as a dog, he should know where all the treasure is, because we've been looking for all his wealth all these years and we still haven't found it. We got the house and all the furniture, everything, but the money and the gold, we can't find it. And the Buddha said, oh yeah, you'll be able to find it. But the thing is, he's so attached, if you just ask the dog to lead you to the gold, he won't do it. You have to ask him when he's just falling asleep and he's off his guard. So they waited for the middle of the day when it's very hot and the dog likes to go under one tree in the corner of the compound. He's just falling asleep. And the son walks up to the dog and he says, Dad, where did you bury the gold? Where's the gold? And the dog is just falling asleep and he hears and he's off his guard. And so his attachment drops and he goes, oh. And he gets up and the dog walks over to one place and he starts scratching the ground. So they go, that's where it is. So they got all his servants and they dug a hole. They found all this gold and they got rich. The dad though is stuck. He's a stray dog for that life. So attachment, very important. We have to see, what are we attached to? Whatever we attach to will bring us back into next life. So the Buddha said, practice dana, sharing, helping, generosity. Practice sila, not harming other people. Practice bhavana, make your mind peaceful with mindfulness. Develop wisdom, insight, panya. Then you're guaranteed good rebirth, and eventually it will lead you to nibbana, no more rebirth. That's the Buddhist path. Someone was asking earlier, they're saying, to get to nibbana you have to practice so much, and this mindfulness practice, very difficult. Training your mind, like you do a bit of mindfulness for a few moments and then mind has gone away. So difficult. How much mindfulness do you need to become enlightened, to reach nibbana? And then they heard Dhamma talk from Lumpur Buddhadasa. Lumpur Buddhadasa said, you only need as much mindfulness as you need to tie your shoelace. Oh, that sounds good, doesn't it? Tie your shoelace and reach nibbana. Sounds like easy, shortcut. How can that be? Well, it's true, you only need to be as mindful as someone tying their shoelace. If you tie your shoelace with mindfulness, you tie the knot correctly, you don't trip over, you don't fall over, you tie it correctly. That means you're mindful. And then you have to keep being mindful. Keep maintaining that same mindfulness. That's the problem. We can do it for a little bit and then we forget. We lose our way, we get distracted, and then we get stressed after a while. But really the practice of mindfulness is not that difficult. One breath in, one breath out. Just be mindful of that. Tie your shoelace, just that much. Whatever activity you're doing, be mindful of that. And keep practicing. Don't let your mind stray away, get caught into all the different moods and thoughts. Or another monk had a similar question with Ajahn Chah. He said, oh, this mindfulness practice, so difficult, and there's so much we have to learn, the Buddhist teachings, the scriptures, chanting, meditation, there's so much. Seems really complicated. Ajahn Chah said, no, it's like this. He said, you have a spittoon, you just have to practice. You put your spittoon down, you wait a few moments, and then you put your spittoon over there. You wait a few moments, and then you put your spittoon over there. That's all you have to do. That much mindfulness. And just pick up spittoon, put it there. We can all do that. The trouble is, after a few moments we get bored, or our friend comes along and takes us away and we have a conversation. Our life starts to get more complicated, so we forget what we're doing. We forget to be mindful. You'll see that some things, some situations make us very unmindful. Like when we're here in the hall, everyone's meditating, trying hard. Then you go down there and you see 3 tables full of nice food. Mindfulness all gone. And everyone's talking and happy, and then they come back up here, mindful again. But what happened in between for the last hour? Mind is all over the place, talking. Mindfulness is like that. We have it sometimes, and then we lose it. The idea is to keep practicing, bringing up more mindfulness, and it gets easier, and it gets stronger, gets more continuous. So Ajahn Chah said it's like, you turn a tap on to get water, you turn the tap a little bit and you get drip, 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 drip. It's like you have gaps. Your mindfulness is like that. You have a bit of mindfulness and then you have a gap when you lose it. You keep turning the tap open, the drips get more continuous. Drip, 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 and then eventually it's one stream of water. Shh. Mindfulness is like that. You keep putting mindfulness on your breathing, say, or you keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, Bhutto. At first you do it a few moments and then your mind is gone. It's gone way back to Sri Lanka, back to Thailand, back to Melbourne. Try again, bring it back. Then it goes away again, bring it back. But if you keep trying, after a while it gets easier, and then maybe your mind doesn't go away. After a while you stop thinking of other things and you become more peaceful. That's when your mindfulness becomes sustained, or we say you have mindfulness. But it's about practice. We practice a little bit, a little bit, a little bit, and gradually it becomes more continuous. Everybody's the same. When you first try meditation, it's difficult, isn't it? Your legs hurt, sit there, mind can't concentrate, looking around, listening to things, thinking about all kinds of stuff. After a while, I can't do this. You get up and walk away, finish. But if you keep trying, it gets easier. You keep trying, after a while you can sit longer, you can close your eyes. Maybe after a while you find some peace in your mind, and then you know, this is good. And you don't forget it either. If you've ever been peaceful in meditation, you won't forget, that peace, that was something very special. Same with everything, same with dana. When you first do dana, maybe you don't know what to do, not sure what to do, do a little bit, go home, not sure. Maybe after a while you do it a few more times, you feel more happy, practicing generosity, helping somebody, making offerings to the Sangha, doing some volunteer work, something. You just keep doing it, and after a while it gets easy. So they say, for the Sotapanna, the first stage of enlightenment, Sotapanna, dana is normal. They share, it's just normal for them. They don't think about hoarding and saving anymore. They don't think about sitting on all their wealth anymore. They know how to share with people who need more help. They'll share. They know about supporting Sangha. It's just automatic for them. They practice to that level. So like monks, we have a rule, we're not allowed to go and bother a family where there's a Sotapanna living in case we bother them too much. Because sometimes if somebody's a Sotapanna, whatever people ask for, they'll give. In one time, in the time of the Buddha, there's one family, the lady, she already practiced the level of Sotapanna. She had so much faith in the Buddha, and the monks didn't realize. They kept going there for food, and then they were going through tough times, no food. So the monks are standing there, coming for food every day, so after a while she had to make a curry. She didn't know what to do, so she actually cut a little bit of her leg off. Cooked it up for the monks. She had nothing else to give. That's an extreme situation. The mind of a Sotapanna is like that, it gives. Not foolishly, but just willing to give, share. Most of us, when it's time to give, we give a little bit and then we just think, maybe, maybe not. Maybe I'll keep it for me, keep it for later. We all have our limits. Arahant, no more limits. Arahant is just pure compassion, pure giving, pure sharing, no anger, no greed. So we're practicing, we practice dana, we practice sila, keeping the precepts. Sometimes very difficult to keep the precepts. If somebody comes and gives you a hard time, and you want to swear at them or argue with them, you have to be very patient. You have to restrain your own kilesas sometimes. Or maybe something's very tempting. Maybe you're tempted to, there's an opportunity to take something that's not yours, to fiddle your income somehow. Maybe you can get a free helicopter ride somewhere on the taxpayers' money. There's always temptation around to get something for free that's maybe not really due to you, but your greed would like to take it. So sometimes we have to say no. Or like there's someone here the other day, they said they're at work. It's a married man, but there's some very attractive lady, keeps coming up asking for a date. I said, well, that's modern, isn't it? In the old days, the man asked the woman for the date. Nowadays, the woman asks for the man for the date. That's temptation, isn't it? If you already have a partner, you have to be committed, true to your partner. That's a precept. For a Sotapanna, they understand this point. They don't have any more doubt, so they don't break the precepts anymore. But until that point, until that level, maybe we still have doubt. Maybe the mosquito comes and we look around, no one's there. Still killing. But Ajahn Chah said, even if nobody else sees you, you know what you've done. That's karma again. Your mind stores a memory, an impression of what you've done. Even if no one else ever knows, ever finds out, your own mind knows. It's remembered it, it's stored it, like a computer, stores it all up. Then sometimes when you're close to death, it all pops up again. So if it's good things, well, that's good, makes you very happy before you die. You remember all the dana you've done, all the meditation you've done, listening to Dhamma, maybe your faith in the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, it all comes up, makes you very joyful just before you die. If you've done a lot of bad things, well, maybe that comes up as well. If you've done a lot of extreme bad things, well, that will certainly come up. Like they talk about in the time of the Buddha, there's one man, he was a butcher, and his main job was slaughtering pigs to sell the meat. Then not long before he died, he actually had an illness. He kind of lost control of his muscles, his nervous system. He stopped being able to walk, so he'd be lying on the floor. He's always shaking. They said, "Oh, it looks a bit like those pigs." Before he would kill the pigs, he'd always be shaking. And then he actually had to eat his food off the floor. He couldn't eat in a plate with fingers or anything anymore. He'd eat his food off the floor. Just before he died, he was actually living more like a pig than a human being. Sometimes karma can be very extreme. So our heart is what stores karma. We remember things, what we've done, what we've said. It comes back to us. So this is why we keep practicing. Try to be patient, keep the precepts, try to practice generosity, kindness, learn to practice mindfulness, learn meditation as we're doing today. That's the end of the written questions. We've still got a little bit of time. Anyone got any question? Doubts? Ida, yeah? There's actually a rule in the Vinaya. Yeah, it may be something difficult to prove conclusively, but maybe the Sangha, they decide, oh, this family, they have great faith, unshakable faith in Buddha Dhamma Sangha, and we shouldn't abuse or exploit that faith. Because if someone has strong faith, you could just keep saying, oh, we need this, we need that, help us with this, help us with that, and maybe they just keep helping until they're actually in trouble themselves. So it's a rule to stop monks unwittingly exploiting the lay people. Well, it would be, yeah. But as I said, unwittingly, meaning you don't realize. So maybe the Sangha has to help each other. They say, oh, that family, be careful, don't ask too much from them because they'll never say no and they might actually be in trouble. So it's the job of the Sangha to help each other, to inform each other. Or this family, like in the time of the Buddha, they said this family is someone who's a Sotapanna. These days, you might not say Sotapanna, you might just say, oh, they have very strong faith. Be careful not to without realizing that you might harm them by just asking too much from them. Monks have to be sensitive to the laity. It's self-regulating. If monks keep turning up saying, I need this, I need that, then the lay people disappear very quickly. Self-regulating. Lay people are the same. If you have a friend who keeps coming around always asking for things, after a while you don't answer the door, do you? You're out. Or you don't answer the text because they keep asking, I need this, I need some money, I need this, I need that. After a while you run away, don't you?
Is it disrespectful to just call him Ajahn? It was mentioned that Ajahn teachers in Thailand are also called Ajahn.
Yeah. Usually in our tradition, a monk, when they reach 10 rains, they're a Thera, we call them Ajahn. But it's just a term. The important thing is your mind. If you have respect in your mind, or venerable, or Bhante, or Ajahn, or Tanajan, there's a few different terms we use.
It's also all right for us to call you just Ajahn.
You can, yeah. Some people just say, hey, you. We get all kinds. to help us remember that we are a monk. So if we use our old name, maybe we still act in our old way. Maybe put the robes on, but mind is still thinking like the old person before, so maybe forget to keep the rules of the monk. My name was Daniel, so if I walk around saying Daniel, maybe I'll just act like I used to act 30 years ago. Not so good. Now I have to act like a monk. They have a word, they say samana sanya. Sanya means memory, remembering. Samana is monk. You have to remember your monk. There's a monk on the outside, we shave the head and we wear the robes. Then there's monk on the inside, in the mind, in the heart. And they say even lay people, if they practice well, maybe on the inside are already like a monk. Outside a lay person, inside a monk. And for a monk, we have to be careful not to be a monk on the outside, but a lay person on the inside. That's not good. So it's about outside and inside. They have to match, they have to fit. They call this samana sanya. But there was one lady in Nakhon Phanom. She was a niece of Lumpur Ginari. Lumpur Ginari is one of Ajahn Chah's teachers. And we went to see this temple, Lumpur Ginari's temple. We stayed there one night with Ajahn Anan and some other monks. And there's one old lady, the niece of Lumpur Ginari. And she's very quiet, she stays there, and in the morning making a bit of food for the monks, and just living very, very simply. Ajahn Anan said, the mind is the mind of a monk, inside. Sit meditation, look at her mind, it's as if it's a monk. Outside, just an old lady, very ordinary person. But inside is the mind of the monk already. So you ask, when she dies, where will she go? Oh, probably go straight to heaven. Maybe next life, enlightened already. So some people are like that. They practice so well. On the outside, maybe just ordinary person, but on the inside, already a monk. Monk is not really a gender thing. We have monk, nun, these words. It really means somebody who keeps the precepts and they let go of their greed, let go of their anger. That's a true monk. And it's not male or female, young, old, Asian, Western, Aussie. It's about whether you're letting go of your greed, your anger. Because usually pra-arahant, arahanta, when the mind is free from kilesa, greed, anger, delusion, is finished, the mind very pure, it's very powerful, very pure, very peaceful. So the mind affects the body. So someone like Ajahn Chah, we think is an arahant for many years, maybe. Before he died, maybe 30 years, who knows how long. So when he dies, they cremate his bones, his body, but the ashes, they always have some small pieces of bone, and the bones start going to crystal. Not only the bones, even his excrement became relics, dhatu. So after Ajahn Chah died, we went and we dug up his toilet pit from his kuti. I was there. We got all the earth out of the pit. It's not smelly at all. It's just earth with sand. We took it back to Wat Mapjan, to Ajahn Anand's, and they have a big yard, and we put it all out in the sun. And we got big sieves, and we sieved all the earth and all the bits of other stuff out. In the end, we just ended up with hundreds and hundreds of relics. And one way you can tell whether something is a relic or not, they bathe them in water, they put the relic on water, A relic will float. If it's just sand or dirt, it just sinks to the bottom, but relics float. So we got all of Ajahn Chah's relics from his toilet pit, meaning from his body, it's come out in his poo, relics, and then we collected them all up, cleaned them all, put them on water, thousands of them, all floating, and not dropping to the ground at all. They're all floating and they all go in clockwise, prataksin. Just like when tonight we walk around the hall 3 times, the relics do that as well. And they go around clockwise. And they move together, they all join together like they're magnets. They join together and they slowly move around the water. We did it so many times, it's not like a fluke. You see it happening and you think, oh, these are really relics. And that's from the food he's eaten, digested, come out the other end, still turns into relics. The mind is so powerful. One lady, I gave her 9 of Ajahn Chah's relics like that. And she couldn't believe it. She said, how could a monk eat food, poo it out and then become relics? Impossible. She didn't believe. But she had faith in Ajahn Chah, so she had the relics. She's thinking, could it really be? So she put them in water. She put them on water, put her hands in Anjali, and they all sank. She said, oh, all the relics sank, and her heart sank as well. It's like, oh, does that mean Ajahn Chah's not an arahant? All these years I've been going to see Ajahn Chah, I thought he's an arahant. He's not an arahant. The relics have gone down. And as soon as she thought like that, all the relics came back up to the top. They all bounced up to the top and floated on the top. Very strange. So relics are a bit hard to explain. The scientists can't really explain it. Sometimes they move. They start here and then they go over there. Like the first year here, we had 1 relic come. Just this time, Kalpansa, we had the shrine over there in the house, and 3 relics came at the beginning of the first rains here in this temple, this monastery. So even Australia, relics can come. Not limited to Asia. Chiang Mai has the most relics. They have the most chedis. Every mountain has a chedi. Krupa Sivichai went around building all the chedis or rebuilding them because they've all got relics. He wanted to help look after the relics.ที่ไหนสกลไม่แน่ใจไม่ได้ข่าวแต่ที่แม่ริมเป็นของดีหลวงปู่มั่นบอกดีของดีแม่ริมไปภาวนาก็ดีนะไปกราบไปไหว้Well, come from maybe from different teachers and also different parts of the body. So most relics are from bones, but then you get relics from blood. You get relics from, other things in the body like plasma, yellow-colored relics, greeny-colored. But whether they're relics from the Buddha or from an arahant, usually you need a teacher, somebody who's very skilled to know the difference. Each relic will have its different characteristics. Lungta Mahabua, before he died, they were taking blood samples from him, and already the blood was turning into relics before he died. And the monks, sometimes they had to wipe up the blood, and the cloth ended up with all this crystal on it afterwards. They say when relics come out of nowhere, they appear, it's because the person maybe has made merit with an Arahant or a Buddha in the past life. So then the relics come back this life.
Is it polite to ask for something?
Maybe the polite way is to ask in your mind. You say, if it would be helpful for my practice, if it would bring up more faith, may I receive some relics. And you just make a wish in your mind. And you wait for the devas to do something. That way you're not asking, you're not greedy. You just wait and see. Just can be happy for her. She's obviously made a lot of merit in the past.
But I didn't ask for some.
There's one famous Arahant in Thailand, Lumpur Juan. And a group of monks went to his chedi. He's dead now, but we went to chedi to pay respects to his relics in Sakonakon. And we bowed. And as we bowed, everybody made a wish. All the monks made a wish. And the monk next to me, he made a wish. He said, I have a great faith in Lumpur Juan that he's an Arahant. If he was an Arahant, may I have a relic of his? And the floor is very clean marble floor, very clean, immaculate, clean floor. We all bowed. As this monk got up, and there was a relic right where his forehead was, right there on the ground. Just appeared. So maybe just make a wish. Could be, that's why I said it was a very clean floor, and when you bow, we all bowed, you could see, if you would notice if there was something. But you can take them away and you bathe the relics. There's a ceremony where you bathe them, and as I said, true relics, they won't sink, they float, they actually move a little bit. And also you can give it to maybe somebody who meditates very well. Maybe they can see in their meditation the aura around the relic. If it's just sand or dirt, it doesn't have an aura. Well, it's time, 1 o'clock. We don't want to get too distracted from our mindfulness practice, talking about other things. So maybe we can stop this question and answer session there. And I think on the program now we have 45-minute walking meditation. Give you a chance to digest your food and stretch your legs. So you're welcome. If you want to carry on sitting, you can. Or if you like to go outside and do some walking, you're welcome.